The following episode of The Kingdom of Isolation contains footage from the film being discussed. The footage is used solely for the purposes of education, commentary, and criticism under fair use. Please support the animators by watching this film on Disney Plus or home media where available. This episode also contains spoilers throughout.
Hello, my fellow Disney fans, and welcome to the Kingdom of Isolation. When times of trouble, why not celebrate the magic of Disney? Yes, I decided, why not? Let's get the centenary intro out once more. Because we are going to be looking at the culmination of Disney centenary celebrations, Wish, which came out in November of 2023. This is it, folks. The final film of the animated classics lineup. And after this episode, all 62 films will have been covered, and then it's back to Pixar for the rest of the year, and a few sports films here and there in time for the Paris Olympics. And I'm also doing all of this while preparing for the Manchester Half Marathon in October. Wish is the culmination of Disney's centenary celebrations, which started back in November 2022 with Strange World. The centenary celebrations were a bit lackluster, personally. A bit lackluster. This was a bit lackluster from the box office numbers and the critical reception. This film is meant to be a celebration of their history while looking to the future. And to be honest, I feel the film relied too much on nostalgia rather than making a great film. That being said, there's plenty to like about the film. So let's head to the Kingdom of Roses for the last film with the animated classics lineup. And since this is going to reference Disney's history a lot, I will have a Disney Easter egg counter as well, and we'll have the final total at the end. Disney, you had one job to let us hear Steamboat Willie, and you failed. Immediately, we get a nod to the first ever Disney animated film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, with the A Walt Disney Feature Production credit. A storybook opening also used in Snow White, as well as Cinderella in 1950 and A Sleeping Beauty in 1959.
He studied the magic of the world tirelessly and became a mighty sorcerer.
Keep that in mind for another Easter egg. There's a technique I haven't seen used for a long time. Multiplane. Why? Because multiplane cameras were used in some of Disney's earliest work. We were introduced to the Kingdom of Roses with narration provided by Asha, voiced by Ariana DeBose. Ariana is relatively new on scene with a prolific role under her belt already, Anita in the remake of West Side Story, for which she won an Oscar for. Asha means hope in Hindi and Bengali. Her grandfather, Saba, or Sabino, turns 100, referencing the fact that Walt Disney Animation Studios turned 100 in 2023. Saba actually means grandfather in Hebrew as a small side note. He's voiced by Victor Garber, who's been involved in Argo, Legally Blonde, TV shows Alias and The Flash, as well as the box office juggernaut Titanic in 1997.
Valentina's never done talking.
If only we could understand you.
Oh, don't worry, you'll understand him soon enough. A classic Disney princess trademark is having the hair down, sometimes to one side, which we see throughout the runtime. And surprisingly, Asha isn't barefoot at any point during the film, when most other princesses were at one point during their respective films. And of course, one parent no longer being around, sometimes the protagonist is an orphan, maiden orphan. It's very rare that you get to see both parents alive at the start, and neither of them die.
I'm here! I'm here! Whew, just 1 second. Let me catch my breath. Hola! Shalom! Salam!
Into the first song, anyway. Into the first song. City of Rosas. We get treated to references to Tangled, Treasure Planet, and the Sorcerer's Apprentice segment from Fantasia. Why? Look at the moon and stars. Treasure Planet because outer space, and basically, it's basically Treasure Island in space. And we also see the rose from Beauty and the Beast painted on the banners as well. A wood carving, referencing Pinocchio, thanks to Geppetto, being a wood carver toy maker. And yes, the film crew did watch all 61 previous films to prepare for making number 62. How long would it have taken them to watch them back to back? Around 3 days non-stop. So yeah, you could just basically do the entire Disney marathon, of course, for the entire weekend, and boom, you're sorted.
We have this king named Magnifico, and he built Rosas many years ago, with lightning for hands and eyes that can glow.
Yeah, foreshadowing of what's to come. Okay. Elephant in the room. I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. I can see why so many have said that this film feels like it was AI generated, which is already cause for concern for now. But mind you, who wouldn't want to kiss Magnifico, or his wife for that matter? Oh wait, hang on. Music. Time to talk about the music. Dave Metzger is the one in charge of composing the film score this time around, while the songs are written by Julia Michaels and Benjamin Rice, not related to Tim Rice, sadly. Their music background is in the charts. Music that is in the charts. Why not bring back Alan Menken to make the music? He is the GOAT of animated Disney musicals. Have Glenn Slater work alongside him, and we could have had an incredible soundtrack. Next, we get Asha's friends, who are basically walking Snow White references. And it's not just from their names, but the initials of their names specifically, and which dwarf they represent from Snow White. Dahlia is already my favorite of Asha's friends. Have a guess at which dwarf she represents. Doc, of course. Hal is happy, Simon is sleepy, Safi is sneezy, Dario is dopey, Bazima is bashful, and of course Garbo is grumpy. And I immediately do not like him.
Look at me. Don't worry. We'll be here for you when you fail.
Garbo, you're not helping.
Safi sneezed on those.
Oh, thanks.
Ew.
Okay. 1, gross. 2, doesn't he look like...
We don't talk about Bruno.
Fine. Anyway, Garbo, just stop being so unlikable. Queen Amaya says King Magnifico is ready to see Asha for her interview. Angelique Cabral voices Amaya here, and Angelique has also been involved in Life in Pieces, Friends with Benefits, and Enlisted. Asha then meets King Magnifico, voiced by the current Captain Kirk in the Star Trek films of the USS Enterprise, Chris Pine. Chris has also been the voice of Earth 1610's Peter Parker in Into the Spider-Verse. Chris has also been part of the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman films, Don't Worry Darling, alongside Florence Pugh and Harry Styles, as well as another Disney project, A Wrinkle in Time, which I believe had Whoopi Goldberg in it. Now, the pattern on the glass protecting the forbidden spells looks similar to the patterns on Anna's coronation dress in Frozen. The symbols could also be a reference to the fact that then those symbols are known in alchemy. But I'm just gonna count it as a reference and move on. The design on King Magnifico's cape fastenings resembles ancient symbols such as St. Bridget's cross.
No, he'd say, the stars are there to guide us.
And there's one for the Lion King. How? Those kings will always be there to guide you. Look at the stars, the great kings of the past, etc., etc., etc. And also the tapestry as well. Tapestry. I'm calling it a reference to Brave. Yes, I'm including Pixar. What are you going to do about it? Pixar made its first full-length film in 1995 with Toy Story, with the help of Disney distributing the film, and then Disney would eventually buy out Pixar in 2005.
But if I'm to trust you, I need to know you understand just how important they are.
They?
The wishes.
All 1,923 of them. Why that particular number? It's the year Walt Disney Animation Studios was created. Into the next song, which reduces me to tears every time, at all costs, which, with more references including Sleeping Beauty, Peter Pan, Treasure Planet, and 2022's offering, Strange World, playlisted at the top right of the screen if you feel so inclined. Now, the harmonies in this duet are incredible, visually stunning as well. I just wish the song could have been used for someone who got deleted or changed from early drafts. Now, the book I mentioned, well, it could be a reference to Hocus Pocus, judging by the symbol on the front.
Would you maybe consider granting his wish tonight?
Well, that was fast, wasn't it?
Anchorman?
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Thank you. We get more details on Saba's wish involving creating something. What that something is, who knows? Stay tuned for the post-credits to find out.
You know, if they're dangerous, then they can be stopped. But if they're not...
You've completely missed the point. People come here because they know they can't make their own dreams come true.
And get ready for the official villain reveal in 3, 2, 1.
I decide what everyone deserves.
And there it is. Also, forget their worries. Add Jungle Book to the reference count. Bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your stride. Now, the music build-up is really well produced, and it's time for the ceremony, the wish-granting ceremony. And it's definitely showing how ominous these ceremonies be. You can see from Helena and Esteban. Shame it's not Ocon, otherwise he'd be getting a 5-second penalty for that. That their happiness starts to fade the moment they get just Magnifico. The way he rolls Sanya's wish down his arm, I'll call that an Aladdin reference to how our favourite Agrabah street rat rolls the apple down his arm. I can't quite get it down yet, but I'll give it a bash at some point. Now, Sanya's wish is granted, and she gets to make more beautiful dresses in all the land.
See? Never, ever get your hopes up.
Gabo, stop! You're not helping! Amaya is clearly concerned about Asha after Magnifico's remark, and then goes back to being all happy smiles around Amaya. You two-faced, narcissistic.
There's always next time.
Only there was Saba. Only Asha knows Magnifico's true intentions. Asha runs away from home, and the cottages are another Snow White reference, by the way. And I can see how people, I can definitely see how people feel this film was written by AI. I've already mentioned this point earlier, but it's worth it. It doesn't try to be a genuinely good Disney film, and I really do not like saying stuff like that. It's just Disney fan service the movie. There, I said it! Anyway, back to the film itself and the I Want song of the movie. And that song being This Wish, which I couldn't get enough of from the trailers. I genuinely couldn't get enough of it from the trailers and listening to it while preparing for watching it. Now, Alan Menken coined the term, detailing it as the point in the film or staged during musical theatre terms, where the character singing it outlines the dreams and goals they have and want to reach by the end. And then Asha makes a wish on the star, causing Magnifico to feel a little bit fearful, and the wish is to go a little bit cuckoo, crazy, go-go bananas. Now Asha heads down the proverbial rabbit hole, referencing Alice in Wonderland in the process.
This is crazy.
We love crazy!
And it wouldn't be Disney if they didn't reference Frozen. Chief Bogo.
Life isn't some cartoon musical where you sing a little song and your insipid dreams magically come true. So let it go.
Deal. Chris Buck didn't want any Frozen references, apparently. When one of the directors of the film doesn't want a film being referenced for obvious reasons, that's when you know you have problems.
It didn't work. When does the magic happen? Huh?
Oh, something's happened.
I'm talking. I am talking. Ah, who knew my voice would be this low?
Alan Tudyk, how do you manage this? We get a rabbit acting like Thumper and a red
Squirrel!
resembling Arthur from Sword and Stone. In squirrel form, that is.
Let's just try this another way.
In song form.
Oh, thanks, Tamatoa. You're a Star is probably the weakest song of the film for me. We do get to see Grandmother Willow referenced, as well as Friend Owl and the Snow White Turtle.
You're a star.
That deer is supposed to be Bambi? Looks like it's high off something, and I'm not here to speculate. The bear we saw earlier is named John as well. Little John from Robin Hood. The eggshells in the nest are the same colours as the fairies in Sleeping Beauty. That being Flora for red, Fauna for green, and Merryweather for blue. Oh no, wait, sorry. For Flora, we need to make it pink.
Watch out, world, here I are.
Force rhyming. No, force rhyming. No. Why force rhyming? Why force rhyming? Why force rhyming? Really hate force rhyming like that. If it was here we are, it would make a lot more sense.
I've never.
Oh, ha ha, because you're a
Squirrel!
Star decides to have some fun while upside down. Oh, that is adorably cute. I love Star. Star was originally going to be Starboy, who could have been a love interest for Asha. And how's this for an idea? Amaya and Magnifico both being villains! At all costs could have worked for Starboy and Asha. I'm not often critical about soundtracks, but when you're doing a Disney musical, hire someone who knows musical theatre inside out! Inside and out. Oh! Someone like, oh, I don't know, Alan Menken, he was right there! I know he was working on a Little Mermaid remake, and don't worry, I'll get round to those soon enough. But you couldn't at least use him for this as well, and getting guidance like to help with the songs as well. How can the fans come up with better ideas than Disney can right now? How is that even possible? Talking of which, how about a Disney Prince film for a change? Not one where he chases a princess, just one that is focused solely on the prince. Do not have a princess in the film at all. Prince and Prince alone. And I'm thinking something similar to the Prince of Egypt. Hear me out, DreamWorks. Do not sue me for copyright. Something similar to the Prince of Egypt. Don't just rip off Prince of Egypt, otherwise you're going to have DreamWorks and Jeffrey Katzenberg on your ass. Anyway, have him raised by a family who took him in. Then he has questions about his real family. Goes to find them, only to reveal they never wanted him to begin with. All because they never felt ready to have a family. All because they felt they were never going to be ready to to have their own family, have their own kids. Tearing this proverbial prince apart before he has a choice to make to go with his real family or stay with the family who raised him, setting up a great conflict and a final showdown between the two patriarchs of each family. You see, I mean, that alone. Anybody want to pitch this? As long as I'm working on board with the film as well. Oh my God. Anyway, according to the official book, The Art of Wish, there was a scrapped romance between Asha and an earlier humanoid version of Star. In the demo version of the song At All Costs, which is probably on the deluxe edition of the soundtrack, sung by Benjamin Rice and Julie Michaels, Love You was in place of Promise, and Asha's verse with her saying wow. And Asher's verse opens with her saying, wow. These changes imply the song was originally a love song between the two characters. Right there! And in earlier drafts of the film, Queen Amaya shared the villain role with King Magnifico, and they had a pet cat named Charo. While her personality changed, her design stayed the same. Had the concept not been abandoned, Amaya and Magnifico would have been the first Disney villain couple. We could have had an amazing movie with these ideas!
But if we take them, isn't that stealing? I mean, we can't. Right. They don't belong to him, do they?
Technically, they do, because the citizens of Rosas willingly gave those wishes to him. Back at the castle, and Beauty and the Beast is referenced again, with a candlestick holder and the mantelpiece clock. Lumiere and Cogsworth, for those that somehow haven't seen Beauty and the Beast. Now, Magnifico is trying to work out what caused last night's events, but can't find anything. Green is a classic villain color for Disney. The Evil Queen in Snow White, Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty, Ursula in The Little Mermaid, Scar with Be Prepared in The Lion King, and of course, Signals. Signals, husky vocals for you one more time, Mr. Keith David. Oh my word, that does actually sound like Keith David. That actually sounded like Keith David as Dr. Facilier in The Princess and the Frog. Failing that, I'll need to get some help from my friends on the other side. How's that for a New Orleans accent? Well, an attempt at a New Orleans accent. Anyway. Now, I know I'm really reaching for this reference here, but the ball of wool, or yarn for our stateside friends, could be a reference to the Pixar Spark Shorts Pearl, possibly?
You touch him, you wash him.
It was an accident.
Ah, how do you always do that?
I've done that before, unintentionally, of course. Tiana's pancakes are saddled with golden syrup, as there's no maple syrup in the flat. Asha then explains what happened last night.
No. Fine. Last night, after everything happened, I made a wish. On a star.
What are you, 5?
Oh boy. Garbo, I don't need you doing my job at pointing out that's a line from the D7 Disney Channel show centered around the dwarfs.
Life is not a fairy tale.
Yeah, you were saying? Now, Magnifico assembles the kingdom while Dahlia helps to get Asha to study.
You're here to steal from the king.
It's not stealing. The wishes don't belong to him.
Yes, it is, Asha. Did you not hear what I said earlier? Technically, they do, because the citizens of Rosas willingly gave those wishes to him. Asha, Valentino, and Star make it to the study, and ooh, hello, Hideyuki. Toy Story reference with the magnifying glass and beam of light as the study is on fire. Why am I bringing up the magnifying glass as a reference to Toy Story? Sid, magnifying glass, aims at Woody's forehead. Where are your rebel friends now? Yeah. The citizens stall Magnifico as long as they can until he caves in and says he'll grant the wish of the one who finds the traitor. Meanwhile, in the study, Asha tells Star to find the wishes she's after. Have fun searching through the now 1,924. Why 1,924? We started with 1,923. That went to 1,925 when Helena and Esteban gave their wishes to Magnifico. Sanya got her wish granted, so we're back to 1,924. Once Saba and Sanika's wishes are found, we'll then go back down to 1,922, and then 1,921 once the wish of the one who finds the traitor is granted. Into, admittedly, a catchy villain song with This Is the Thanks I Get. My major gripe with this is when you have people who are primarily involved in known primarily for chart music instead of someone like Alan Menken on board, we end up with lines like this.
I'll let you live it for free, and I don't even charge you rent.
They both mean the same thing! Disney, we have fans. We have been fans of your films and cartoons for generations.
This is the thanks I get.
Disney need to wake up because they can't keep making mediocrity like this. Otherwise, they won't be around to see the next 100 years. Now, I will admit, it has been a while since we've seen a dungeon in these films. So, I'll handle seeing here. Now, I miscounted earlier. They only got Saba's wish. So, we're back to 1923. Saba gets his wish back, and although Sanika's wish is never fulfilled, in the book Disney's Wish, A Recipe for Adventure, her wish is revealed to see her daughter shine and succeed. Everyone escapes. We get a Maximus cameo, and Ash's family head to an island while she feels regret for what happened. With a bit of encouragement from the start, Asha and Valentino decide to head back to the castle to defeat Magnifico. Just as a side note, folks, Valentino, not the Valentino from Has Been Hotel. Is that Valentino? Absolutely despicable. Now we're in the dungeon. We see Snow White's poison apple, and he crushes 3 of the wishes, giving us the music I've been after all film. Yes, Disney! This is what we want from villain music!
I would never side with a traitor of Rosas.
Yeah, I'll wait by the end. By the end. The wanted posters are an homage to Tangled. The same font is used on those posters, but unlike Tangled, they do get the nose right. I mean, of course they will. They're not going to disrespect Asha like that. Cinderella finally gets referenced with the cloak with the cloak she wears as a tribute to the fairy godmother.
They say her family's gone missing. I bet she killed them.
Garbo, I now officially hate you. Simon is the one who turned Asha in and gets his wish granted.
Traitor! Find me that star, so I will have the power to grant all of your wishes!
And you're absolutely not granting anything. Asha finds the rest of her friends, and Gabo fills them in on what happened, and Gabo is still as miserable and irredeemable as ever, and he's not even the villain.
We're doomed.
Not if we fight.
Oh yeah, revolution time, baby! Knowing what I know now is the final showdown song of any Disney film where they prepare for, well, showdown. I think this is my favorite song of the film. My favorite part is when they hit that one line together. A revolution hit the ground running. Nah. Amaya decides to join the revolution now. She sees true colors. Being Magnifico. Now that she's seen Magnifico's true colors. Something I've only just picked up on my most recent is the king that Dahlia has throughout the film. This is thanks to her voice actress Jennifer Kumiyama, who has arthrogryposis. I think that's how it's pronounced, or joint stiffness, just to be easy. And she uses the wheelchair.
Then Star needs to leave, like right now.
No. If anyone's leaving, it's gonna be you.
Thank you, Valentino! More wishes get crushed by Magnifico, one involving Peter Pan.
How about Neverland?
The next involving Mary Poppins.
The perfect nanny for your horrible children. Popping this one!
And the third, The Little Mermaid.
So much for true love.
Star gives Asha a stick, turns into a wand.
No, buddy, we're not doing that. You can come back, because I hate heights.
Gabo, you will remain silent because you are helping whether you like it or not. Meanwhile, Asha has a cart turn into a spider cart, finding a rock face. Then we get a Tarzan yell back at the castle, and another hidden Mickey. Turns out the Magnifico that was chasing Asher was actually Simon. John saves Asher, and Disney, use an original joke next time instead of doing what you did in the 60s and 70s. There's recycling to save the planet, and then there's just being lazy because we do not need or want any more endless rabbit jokes. We get it. They like to get busy. They like to make a lot of cute little baby bunny rabbits. But you do not need to keep using the same joke over and over and over and over and over again. Magnifico traps Star and the remaining wishes with a Snow White reference.
Mirrors, mirrors on the wall, who is the handsomest? Me!
And a missed opportunity to make a Motorhead reference, which I can't display because copyright. But still, he basically says, bow down to the king!
No.
With Star inside the star, it looks like Versus is defeated. Until they all start singing a reprise of this wish, allowing them to defeat Magnifico, where we see a glimpse of the face inside Snow White's magic mirror. The magic mirror inside Snow White, should have said, as he ends up trapped inside what's left of the staff, being left to hang in the dungeon. Everyone gets their wishes back, and Asher takes on the role of the fairy godmother. Oh, and we also get to see Peter Pan here as well, in a little cameo appearance. Valentino references Zootopia or Zootropolis, depending on where you are. Star leaves, giving us one last hidden Mickey, which isn't exactly very well hidden, and recreates the Disney opening as the end credits pay tribute to most of the animated classics lineup. And the storybook as well also has the rose from Beauty and the Beast on the front as well. The films not seen in the end credits are Saludos Amigos, The Three Caballeros, Make Mine Music, Fun and Fantasy 3, Melody Time, The Rescuers, The Black Cauldron, The Rescuers Down Under, Meet Robinsons, Winnie the Pooh 2011, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Frozen 2. Some of them are sequels, so you can understand why they won't be used twice. But The Rescuers, The Black Cauldron, and Meet Robinsons aren't seen at all. Thank you, Lemon Grab. Although its success led Disney to carry on and not shut down its animation division, having wrongly decreed that the medium was no longer of interest to critics and audiences, the classic film The Rescuers was excluded entirely from the ending credits long sequence nods to nearly all the canonical Walt Disney animation films. Just because you don't want to acknowledge something doesn't mean it never happened. You cannot erase history. By the way, for Big Hero 6, you could have at least used Baymax. The film is dedicated to Bernie Mattison, a Disney legend who died on February 27, 2023, having worked at Walt Disney Animation Studios for over 70 years. Asher's grandfather's dream is to create something inspiring for future generations. After the end credits, we see him writing the song When You Wish Upon a Star, the signature tune for Walt Disney Animation. So there we go. That takes care of that. And how many Disney Easter eggs did I manage to pick out? Not a bad number. One short though. Actually, no. When You Wish Upon a Star. Saba plays When You Wish Upon a Star. So let's change that number. Let's change that number quickly. Much better. The same number as the animated classic we're looking at right now. 62 Easter eggs, one for each animated classic. Some of them did not get referenced at all, which I am severely disappointed with, Disney. Acknowledge your entire history. Acknowledge the Rescuers. Acknowledge the Black Cauldron. Acknowledge Meet the Robinsons. Keep moving forward. Oh boy. For lack of a better term, this is a very, very mixed bag. It's a very mixed bag. it's a very, and I hate to say it, it's a very mediocre mixed bag, if you ask me. And I really do not like saying that. So, nevertheless, we soldier onwards, and it is time to go through the scores. We get ourselves a 6 for the story. It's paint by numbers. It's beat for beat, basically every Disney fairy tale they've ever done. They did not try with this story. They did not try, and I'm really disappointed with that. And it's the same with the characters. A lot of them are, again, a lot of them paint by numbers. They could have done something at least something interesting with some of the characters, but no, they played safe. They didn't try anything new. They didn't risk anything, and it just, oh my word, oh. I can't even. I'll say this. The visuals are the only thing I can really praise on this one. They get a 10. They get a 10. I can't fault the watercolor style and the way the characters were animated over the backgrounds. I like how it was animated, so I'll give them that. Soundtrack, a very disappointing 5 out of 10. A very, very disappointing 5. Again, a lot of it is down to the fact that you had people that were involved with pop music, stuff that's in the charts, the Billboard Hot 100, the official UK charts here in the UK. The official UK top. I mean, it's really frustrating the fact that you had people that are involved in making music for the charts involved in making the music primarily because of the fact they just wanted music from the film in the charts. You're not Encanto. Nobody expected Encanto to be in the charts, let alone hit #1 here in the UK. But my biggest gripe is the legacy. Let's go through the reception first. Box office. With a budget of anywhere between 175 and 200 million dollars, they only made $254.9 million. Now, it was reported by Deadline Hollywood. It calculated that the film lost the studio $131 million when factoring together all the expenses and revenues. Critical response, 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. 48%, making it the lowest scoring film on Rotten Tomatoes since Chicken Little. The website consensus says, Wish earns more tugs at the heartstrings with the way it warmly references many of the studio's classics, but nostalgia's no substitute for genuine storytelling magic. They used to be so good at it! No matter how beautifully animated it might be. It was the first Walt Disney Animation Studios film to be classified as rotten on the site since Chicken Little in 2005. Even Metacritic didn't rate it favorably. 47 out of 100. Alliance of no joke, these are the only accolades it got nominated for. It won nothing. Once Upon a Studio didn't even get nominated for Best Original Short at the Oscars. And that was somehow better than this. That wasn't even 10 minutes long. This is 90 minutes. Alliance of Women Film Journalists. Best Animated Female nominated Ariana DeBose. Astra Film Awards. Best Voiceover Performance Ariana DeBose. Best Original Song This Wish. Black Reel Awards. Best Outstanding Video Voice Performance Ariana DeBose. Critics' Choice Movie Awards. Best Animated Feature Wish. Best Song This Wish. Golden Globes. The only major award it got nominated for was a Golden Globe for Best Animated Film, and it didn't even win that. What won it? Well, let's find out. The Boy and the Heron, beating out Elemental, which was like the only positive from Disney Centenary year. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a fantastic film. And the Super Mario Brothers movie. This was in the same category as Mario and Spider-Verse. Because of course Disney had to get themselves nominated for something. They already had one with Elemental, which is the far superior film. Hollywood Music and Media Awards. Original Song Animated Film, This Wish. Visual Effects Society Awards, Emerging Technology Award. It got nominated for that, but it didn't even win that. It didn't even get nominated for Outstanding Visual Effects in an Animated Feature, because that had Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse winning that one. That also had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget, Love Stop Motion Animation, and Elemental. But Outstanding Animated Character in an Animated Feature, Spot from Across the Spider-Verse. What was originally touted as Villain of the Week turned into the most outrageously turned into the most outrageously terrifying demonic being. And I cannot wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse. Outstanding Created Environments in an Animated Feature. Across the Spider-Verse won all the awards in this Visual Effects Society Award. Emerging Technology Award. Okay, these idiots do not know what they're talking about. These idiots do not know what they're talking about because it went to The Flash. The Flash absolutely tanked. Proof that that's another fine example of occasions where the award ceremonies do not have a clue what they're talking about. The Legacy gets a 5. It gets a 5. It is middle of the road. It is really... The film overall gets a very, very disappointing 64%. 64%. I cannot justify going any higher than that. It is below The Three Caballeros. It is below considerably Raya and the Last Dragon. And that film wasn't even that good. It is just above Dinosaur. I can't really recommend this to anybody that's not a Disney purist. I cannot justify recommending this to anybody. It's paint by numbers. It's beat for beat. They don't try anything. And it's just... That's it. 62 films covered. And now we just have to get this episode put together. And... yeah. Not really much else I can say beyond that. But thanks. But thanks very much, everybody, for tuning into this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, you can hit the thumbs up. And if you want to be part of the Kingdom of Isolation yourself, you can hit the subscribe button down at the bottom. Click the bell turn on notifications so you don't miss when an episode goes live on the channel. And yeah. So I'm going to give you a little montage now of every single. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a little montage of all 62 films, and by that I mean the by that I mean I'll have a little montage of all 62 films being covered in the Kingdom of Isolation. So hopefully it shouldn't take me too long to get that put together. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully it shouldn't take me too long to get that together, but that montage will be is like the culmination of all 62 episodes in the Kingdom of Isolation, covering the animated classics. And, well, all that's really left to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time in the Kingdom of Isolation.